So today's video is going to be about me discussing some of my favorite games to play as a mom in the midst of toddler chaos. What I mean by that is, when I'm trying to relax and force myself to relax by sitting down, I'll play these games on weekends when I have free time and I'm not doing mom things. Because throughout the week, taking kids to school, cooking, cleaning, making sure everyone has what they need to get to wherever they need. So weekends, we try to relax as a family. We do family outings and spend time together, of course. But one of the ways we spend time together is sitting together and playing our own video games while talking about it. So, and especially during the summer when, you can't be ripping and running every single day and your kid's going to want to do stuff. So, I will put these games in order of my favorite to not least favorite. I guess least favorite is a best description, but I'll also talk about why these games, I keep coming back to them whenever I'm in the midst of toddler chaos and things like that. Because sometimes there's days where I have taken my kid to the playground, I've taken him to the store, we've gone on walks and everything, and I'm exhausted, and he's still go, and I need a minute. So I'll play these games, or sometimes there'll be games that he just wants to sit in my lap and observe. So in this instance, this particular game, the reason I like playing this one so much is there is no verbal dialogue. So if I play it through my speaker so he can hear out of curiosity, there's no cursing, swearing, there's no inappropriate imagery in the game or anything like that. It's just straightforward a card game. Another big appeal of this game is when my kid does come to me to go mommy, I need XYZ or whatever, I can literally pause the game and go do what I need to do and go AFK without any issues of other people dealing with, for example, something it's a single player game. So I don't have to worry about interrupting anyone else's playthrough because I decided to go AFK in a game. So I do love Inscription. It's a very well thought out story. It's very mentally stimulating playing the game. The world building is very impressive, and it has a lot of replayability appeal to it. I do have some videos of it in a playlist. I'm not going to play all the way through this right now because this is actually my playthrough for that video, so I don't want to mess up my playthrough. But I do enjoy this game a lot as a result of how easily I can go AFK. It's very relaxing. If you listen to the sounds, it's very calm and quiet, and it is perfect for when I have a little bit of downtime to sit and play games, and I don't have to worry about anything inappropriate popping up on the screen. Also, I will mention another appeal of this game is it is very stable. So when it comes to saving, it auto-saves constantly. So anytime you make a move in this game, it is saved. So I don't have to worry about forgetting to quick save things in this. So that is why this game is in a number one spot. I don't know if I actually straight up said the name. The name of this game is Inscription. Just making sure I said that. I thought I did, but I wasn't sure. So that is game number one, Inscription. Okay, game number two that I really enjoy playing with Toddler in lap. Loop Hero. Loop Hero is a roguelike game where basically you are building a world around a loop. So you're in a weird parallel universe and you are fighting monsters. And this is you, by the way. So you're going around this loop, and the loop is getting more and more complicated the further you get around the world. Personally, I enjoy this game because it is very in-depth in a lot of ways, but again, I can go AFK in it. There's no dialogue. Well, I'm sorry. There is a written dialogue, just like with Inscription, that you can see, but your kid can't read it or anything like that. So it does help with if I want to play the music out of the speakers, because it does have a pretty slapping playlist and it does get you in the groove of playing the game. It's fairly easy to get into. It does get complicated, but it definitely regulates how difficult it gets over time, per se. It's not like it starts out hard and you need to have a lot of skills to be able to play this game. So I do think this game has the appeal of being able to play it on your own, and you know, you feel like you've accomplished something and done something. And this is for people who are gamers. I did not clarify that with my first part of my video, but I know there are some people who are super anti-gaming and they're like, well, how can you be a mom and play video games? And I'm like, I mom just fine. My kid loves me. We spend time together. This is just one of the many ways my family spends time, is playing video games. So, this is what we do. I'll also make a video of games we play together, and I'll also make a video of games my son actually plays. So, yeah, with this one, it's very straightforward with the story. I'll let it loop. I'm not really sure. Apparently, I haven't played this in a while because I've been on some other games that will be popping up in my list. But, yeah, I do enjoy this game. It is not easy, but it is not too hard to figure out how to play. So let's see if I can let him do... Oh, wait, stay. And then we will let him go around the loop so you can see what it looks like. See? Quests pop up. This is what the fighting looks like. Very old school looking video game vibes, things like that. There have been times where I've set up my loop so well that as the character went around the loop, he went around for a while and I didn't realize it. So, yeah. But I do enjoy this game a lot. It's a lot of fun. And as you can see, I can get roped back into it pretty easily. So, yeah. Loop Hero. Definitely great around kids. I would say it's in second place for games I definitely can play alone without worrying about anything chaotic happening. Okay. Next game that I definitely enjoy is Wildermyth. This one is pretty relaxing, fun to play. It does get a little complicated, but it is basically, think interactive book / D&D vibes. There is a story going on. You're fighting different things. You have to use tactics in a lot of ways to figure out where to send your party members. And figure out how their stories are going to go. Your choices do matter. So if you send someone somewhere that is not necessarily the best, there is a good chance they might not survive. But my favorite part about this game, again, is read dialogue, so you don't have to worry about anything happening. There's nothing untoward happening. Even the romances are very PG appropriate. Very LGBTQ friendly. And also very quiet, very cozy game. I'm not going to play through right now because if you click into this game, it looks like I'm pretty far in. And this is one of those games I probably won't film myself unless someone requests under this video or something like, hey, can you film this one? Because there are certain games that when I start playing them, I get silent because I am concentrating really hard. So this is one of the ones I get really into the zone for fighting and things like that. It's very beautiful. You do go into these zones and you do fights. The saves are pretty easy to do. Let's see. We'll put a patrol in here just to see what happens. But right now, like, the story is happening, and we're going to see what happens. And we get notifications of things like that. There's legacy points. So if a character, like one of your main story from your first playthrough characters died, you get points over time for that. And you can also have your old characters mentioned in your current playthroughs and things like that. So, it is pretty interesting. I'm reading what it says. We'll only do one stronger character. But yeah, it has aspects of incorporating new monsters over time. It's very creative. It's telling an interesting story of what's happening to this world. I'm trying not to spoil it. I'm just talking about the basics of very D&D-esque storyline. Very peaceful in a lot of ways, but with tactics where you have to like traverse a war map and figure out how to fight these critters and things like that. And there is risk with fighting things. You will lose characters. I've already lost some of my legacy characters over time. Like, this is a new guy because one of my other characters passed away. This is my original character. I can't remember if the original character, I think the original character I had passed away, so then I made this like his nephew to be silly. Because this is actually a randomized character that was created by the game. I did not make that character. He just looks like a good Shagustus Rogerstone to me. I definitely use random names that they have in the game. But yeah, this game is super fun. I think there's a lot that goes into it, like reading. Oh yeah, I forgot she lost her hand. So yes, but like with this game, I can go on and on forever. But for example, she lost her hand. I've been playing with this character since she was 18, and now she's age 34. She has been through some things, but she is still a fierce warrior. Somehow this character, age 31, is still alive and okay. No, he didn't pass away. I guess he's just aging up. Whatever. But yeah, there's a lot of stats. You can look at their details, their information, figure out how to make them more interesting in a lot of ways, like how they fight and stuff like that. And their relationships are very important. I could talk about this game all day, but at the same time, think of it as an interactive book where the story comes to life on the page. So, great replayability, fun to read the little story bits to my son. He actually enjoys sitting in my lap sometimes when I play this one, and I let him make some of the decisions on who we fight, who goes to the fights. It gives him an opportunity to bond with me over decision making, and so this is number 3 on my list of games that I definitely like to do. So, yep. Okay, so this one is a little hard. So this is a toss-up because I have 7 games that I very much so that have replayability, and I can play with my son running around in the background causing chaos. And when I say chaos, I mean, Mommy, I gotta go potty. Can you wipe my booty? Mommy, I'm hungry. Can you make me something? The dog needs to go out. Husband needs something. It's something. So these are the games that I enjoy because I can walk away if I need to, and nothing really, really, really bad happens. So Bugsnax is on this list for anybody wondering, but I will explain why Bugsnax is a little bit lower than some of these games. So Dragon Age, I will say, is 4 out of 7 on this list for me. Only reason it is higher up than Bugsnax is because my son doesn't typically take over. And I'll get to that more when I get to the Bugsnax one. Oh, saw a weird glitch in the game. So with this game, there are spicy scenes. But I think the worst they've said is damn and hell. I don't know if that bothers anyone, but those are kind of like, and I don't even think they say ass, I'm not sure. But those are pretty mild curse words. There is violence against animals, if you choose it. I don't know if that bothers anyone. Not really a big thing, because we explained to our son there's fantasy. There are dead bodies. This is where it gets a little dicey for people who are not too sure about this game. But the appeal of this one is I can go AFK and the world still moves around me, but like I don't get hungry. It's not a survival game where I have to remember to eat. It's not a survival game where I have to remember to sleep or anything like that. I can go AFK. It's a little bit more stimulating. Story, there's a decent story going on. And overall, it is just, it's one of my favorite games. I'm not going to lie. But, yeah, my son doesn't really take over this game like that. He does like to watch because he thinks it's pretty. And he is like his mother in the regards of he likes pretty games. So it's very pretty and interesting to him. It's a little bit more involved than some of the other games that we've played.
She's shivering all day long.
And it does have voiced acting, so I would play this game with headphones if you don't want your kid to hear hell damn ass. I think they may even occasionally say shit, but I cannot remember. But yeah, this game is very long, so it'll take, like, if you play it slowly like I do, it'll take you a couple months to play through it, unless you want to plow through it, which you can plow through this game. I just prefer to take my time because I'm a mom and I play it when I can. So, yeah, that's why I like this game. It makes me feel like a badass, and it is a fun story. There is spicy scenes in it, but honestly, you can look those up. There's a lot of guides, so if you get stuck and you're frustrated in this game, you don't have to sit there struggling through the game for a long period of time. It's not that bad. Oh my goodness. As well as, because it's an older game, that's why there's so many well fleshed out guides, which is what I use this game for. It's pretty stable on my computer. I don't have a lot of issues in it. And also, yeah, it has a lot of replayability for me. I don't know, other people will feel the same way, but I can literally walk away from the computer. It's a great single player game that I can just step away from the computer and not worry about anything bad happening in my world where I can't go check on my family. Which, honestly, even the games that aren't really mom friendly, I definitely just will leave my character to perish to go check on my child, because my child comes first and he is more important to me by a long shot than video gaming. Just throwing that out there. But yeah, I do like this game because it's a little bit more stimulating in different ways. Not saying the other games aren't. This one's a little bit more high stress if you want it to be. If you choose to go pick a fight, you can have your fights and then you can, go AFK if you need to. And saving in this game is pretty awesome. I don't trust the autosave feature of this game. I will openly admit, I definitely quick save like a madman in this game. But overall, I've never had issues with my saves in this game. So this is definitely 4 out of 7. Number 4 out of 7 on the scale of games that I play frequently. I'm not going to step in there because that looks like it's progressing the story, so we're going to leave that alone. But yes, so Dragon Age is number 4 out of 7 when it comes to games that I play as a mom that are easier to play at your own pace and in the middle of chaos. Next game, I will always have a special place, that will always have a special place in my heart, is Bugsnax. Bugsnax is 5 out of 7 on my list of my top favorite games to play as a mom in the midst of mom chaos. Reason being is sometimes my son enjoys it because it's a single player game where we play our own versions of the game while we're doing our own thing. And he talks to me about what he's doing in his game, and I talk to him about what I'm doing in my game. It's awesome. Well, the problem with my kid is my lovely boy will sometimes be kind of pushy. And when I say pushy, I mean he'll see me playing and then take over my game. I don't mind it that much, but I know some people don't necessarily mind, or do like, I don't know how to word this better. I'm getting tongue twisted. But they get a little annoyed if your kids come and take over their game. For me, it's not that big of a deal, but I totally understand if you don't want your kid jumping in your lap to take over your game. I actually like it because my son is able to problem solve for me sometimes if I'm struggling real hard with the game. Like I'm struggling with this one, I more than likely will have him catch it for me, which is hilarious. But he enjoys helping me. So for him, okay. I'm going to that up. But yeah, so for him, he enjoys helping. And I don't mind him helping me because it's his own way of figuring out how to problem solve. And it also kind of, for me, it feels like a little bit of a sharing bond experience. But yeah, it can get annoying sometimes where it's like, hey, oh man, I'm struggling. Like, for example, this. I more than likely will have my kid. Oh, wow. Okay. There we go. That just worked out in my favor. But yeah, so typically with my son, he will help me with things like that if he sees I'm struggling and stuff. So it is a fun game. It's very cute. No swearing. There is LGBTQ aspects in it that in our household, love, no hate. So that does not bother us one iota. There is also all the pronouns, which is also very awesome. Very, very representative. And yeah, so basically this game is really fun. I do enjoy it. I like it a lot. The only issue with it is sometimes my kid just takes over. But yeah, so this game ends up being number 5 out of 7 on my list because my kid likes to take over. But again, I can go AFK. It's a bonding experience with my son. It has a lot of ups to it. It's a very good, well flushed out game. Okay, so next game that I definitely enjoy playing, that I'm able to play comfortably around my son, is Baldur's Gate. Now, I will say, with Baldur's Gate, it is not something, I'm not going to open this game up at all because I'm in late game content and I don't want to spoil it for anybody. But with Baldur's Gate, lots of spice, but if you play it in a certain way, and this is why it's also lower on my list, this is why it's number 6 out of 7. If you play it and plan out the way it's playing, it's pretty obvious when a spicy scene's going to come up. You can pause and save your game and go do something else until your child leaves the room. This game has a lot of swearing. It drops F-bombs, all that jazz. So I play this is why it's also lower on the list. But most of it is top-down fighting, so it's like not zoomed-in gore in a lot of instances. There are some horrific cinematic scenes. I usually play those bits when my son isn't around, but like most of the exploring and things like that is pretty tame in my household. Take that with a grain of salt. There's a lot of mature content in this game. But like when I'm doing just basic exploring, I can run around. I can leave this game AFK for long periods of time and it doesn't cause a lot of issues. Like I literally have like 400 hours in this game just from me going AFK in it. Um, Now I will say I do play this game with headphones on because there's a lot of swearing. It's funny. It brings me back to reminding me that I'm not just a mom. I am an adult and like to have fun and do other things. I don't play with other people. I'm not a big fan of the multiplayer aspects of this game, but that's just me and all my friends playing it together. It's just chaos. But yeah, so they do show nudity. I think there's a way to turn it off, but I have not played with those settings. There is sex in this game. So again, if there is a spicy scene and you see it coming, turn your game off. I don't know why that is hard for people to understand. If you see it happening, cues are there, turn your game off. So I can play this comfortably around my kid because I pick up on those cues. I play with headphones on, and mostly I just do all the exploring and side quests, all the fighting quests. I don't really do like the big story plot things. I do those like when he's not around, after he's gone to bed, if he's at school and I have some free time. But overall, I can play this game comfortably while still being a mom with no issues. With my kid running around. So, big thing I will say about this game, I do like that you can be in the middle of a quest, and let's say my son came in the room and it's a spicy quest. For the most part, you can typically walk off and come back to it later without any issues, whether it be reload your save or just walk out of a conversation. So I don't really have that issue of my kid really seeing anything inappropriate. But I can see other parents being concerned or not being able to finagle that or not wanting to finagle that for whatever reason. So yeah, for me, this game is pretty easy to play as long as you're wearing headphones and aware of your surroundings. So that is why it is number 6 out of 7 games that I like to play around my kid with no issues. Also, he loves D&D-esque stuff, so it's kind of cool to see some of those D&D things come to life. But he does not get to see everything. So yeah, this one is 6 out of 7. So, this is Shadows of Doubt. It is 7 out of 7 on my list. It made the list because I have to give it some props. But I will say this game is buggy as all get out to the point that it is infuriating in a lot of ways. So, reasons I have issues with this game. I do enjoy it. It's very interesting. It is a mystery detective solving game, so I do love a lot about it, but it is not stable. I actually filmed myself, and I've already posted it at this point. I filmed myself playing this maybe a week ago, and I actively went out of my way to save the, or not even quick save. I did a hard save of the game, and the game straight up deleted my save, my playthrough, and there's no record of it. The last time it says it saved one of my playthroughs was in January of this year, so 2024. I've also had issues infuriating, like, for example, I had a character that I was playing in this game get stuck after an update where my character got stuck in the crouch position, and I could not unstick them no matter what I did, reloading old saves, resetting, all kinds of stuff. Also, it was writing over old saves versus keeping them in order so that you could go back to a shorter save. And so I was having a lot of technical difficulties in that regard. But while there are so many buggy things that infuriate me about this game, I still love it because there's not a lot of games that do what it did. Like, for example, the detective aspect, solving crimes. The game doesn't typically crash when you open it up to go AFK because you're doing things around the house or whatever. I've never had it crash in that regard. I just get really irritated with the saves. The game is pretty stable where I haven't had a crash once you're in it. It takes a while to load sometimes. The updates seem to be what's causing a lot of issues for me. I don't know if everybody's having the same issues. Also, the game, it's very pixelated. It kind of reminds me of a very cubey Minecraft-esque looking game, the way the graphics are, so things are not too graphic. There's not really nudity. There is people in their underwear. Also, there's no spoken dialogue. There's only text, so there's no issues with that. The music is very spooky and interesting. My son has tried to take over this game before because he saw how interested I was, but overall, he leaves me alone with this game in particular because he knows it's a little bit harder and not something he can navigate himself. But yeah, it's pretty easy, straightforward, something I can play while my son's running around in the background or when I have free time to myself. It's very relaxing for me to run around solving crimes. I love this game a lot. So yeah, those are my favorite 7 games to play as a mom that I can replay as many times as I want. I can go AFK with no problems. There's no untoward things happening that I have to worry about in this game. There's or untoward things happening where my kid sees something. I'm able to go handle business around the house, come back and play my game with no issues. And yeah, mentally stimulating. So definitely check these games out if you are interested in gaming and being able to play a game that you can make progress in and has a decent story and you like solving puzzles, crimes, or just adventuring. So yeah, this is my games I like to play as a mom with my kid running around, because I do have other games I play when my kid is asleep. These are just games I can play when he is up. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry if it sounds like I'm rambling.